It's around the ball, around the ball. It's around the ball, the Ball Clemson podcast. It's around the ball, around the ball. It's around the ball, the Ball Clemson podcast. It's around the ball.
All right, welcome in, everybody. We're back with another episode of Around the Paw. I'm your host, Garrett Mitchell, along with Caden Hughes tonight. We hope everybody's having a great lead up to the Thanksgiving holiday. Now, it's always one of my favorite days of the year, best food day of the year. Anybody who knows me knows I love to eat. But it's also a big week coming up for the Clemson Tigers. It was a big week last week. You beat Furman, and guess what, Caden? After all that's said and done, Clemson is at least going bowling.
Yeah, for the 27th straight year, Clemson's bowl eligible. Louisville, I feel like, was the game that made us bowl eligible, obviously. But, I mean, I spent the entire season, I think after Syracuse, I said, kind of joking, that we're going to be 5-6 and losing Columbia and finish the season 5-7. It hurt so bad to lose to Carolina last year. It was painful. I was terrified that we'd be 5-6 going to Columbia. It obviously still means just as much, but the idea of that, like, final clock hitting 0 and us losing in Columbia and the season is over and we don't get any football until fall of next year would be a painful concept. So the idea that there is something in December is very nice. So I'm overjoyed that we clinched it against Furman and don't have to worry about it. The rivalry itself is enough stress. I don't need the bowl on top of that.
Look, that would have been such a bitter pill to swallow. But now, look, you're bowl eligible. You beat Furman. And now, keeping with the food theme here, you go down to Columbia and you win. That's just gravy on top of the biscuit.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, I want it so bad. Like I said last year, I mean, I do hate Carolina. I'm from Greenville. Like, I feel like these rivalries and stuff, there's so many different degrees of hatred people have. Some people are more civil than others. I can't explain it to someone that doesn't get into it as much or someone that's not as into sports, but I truly hate South Carolina. No matter who they're playing, they can be, sometimes you see like upsets are so fun in college football. I don't even want Carolina to do that. Like when Georgia's amazing and Carolina's playing them, or that Carolina-Alabama game with the missed kick that one year, I'm cheering. I'm celebrating when Georgia scores their 8th touchdown against Carolina while they're 9-0. Like, let's go. I'm the biggest fan of who they play. So, yeah, I mean, the hatred is real. I think Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday, but I look at this week as Clemson Carolina week, not necessarily Thanksgiving week. It's a big game.
Oh, look. Hey, the way I look at it, it's always say it's chicken kicking time. Now, I know you weren't around in 2004, but you can ask any Gamecock fan, and they'll tell you, man, that game was a real kick in the head.
Oh, yeah.
I just went there. I did it. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, it was I wouldn't be mad at a fight. I wouldn't be frustrated. I don't want it to happen, but it might happen. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not going to sit here and say I want one to happen, but if one does, I'm standing up like, oh hell yeah, I'm standing up, I'm watching, I'm engaged. Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You need healthy things to take your anger out on, and this is the best one.
Oh, ain't no doubt about it. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Furman game. And in the interest of full disclosure, I didn't get to watch the game live. I was following it along on my phone, and I'll explain myself coming up in a few minutes as to why I wasn't able to watch it live. But there were some things when I went back, and I did watch the game in its entirety later. There were some things that I really liked, some things that also frustrated me a little bit. First off, Cade Klubnik came in, and granted, it's against Furman. And Furman's, they're a middling team. So you expected to win. You expected to win big. Cade comes in and has a phenomenal first quarter. And then he gets pulled. And I understand you're going to win. I understand the curtain call. That's all well and good. But I felt like once you brought in Christopher Vizina and then Trent Pierman right behind him, all of that excitement, all of that momentum, the crowd's behind you, and everything just kind of ground to a halt for about 2 quarters, and it just killed the vibe. And I don't think Clemson's really in a position right now to be killing their own momentum.
I don't like starting negative because I have something that we're going to get to. I feel like we're going to get to one specific player that I have a lot of great things to say about. But to start negative, I would say my second biggest takeaway behind that player was how uninspiring our second and third team is compared to past years. I remember in past FCS teams and stuff, and we talk about Clemson, you know, take a shot every time I talk about Clemson in the past and stuff. Like I know I do that way too much and stuff, but like it's usually like, oh, this freshman I'm super excited to see, or this senior who's been a glue guy for 4 years, you know, is able to start and stuff like that. There's usually like fun players I'm excited to see on the second and third team. This team just doesn't. I mean, the first team is pretty uninspiring too, relative to the past and stuff. So I noticed like there's no one on the field I was really rooting for. I was pretty bored. You know, I was kind of telling myself like, hey, last home game, appreciate this, soak it in. You know, they had steak in the press box and stuff, so I was refilling my plate constantly at that. That was a nice thing. But like, I mean, it was a boring game. Like it wasn't a great time. It wasn't the best content, all that stuff.
Right. And, you know, but there were some really superlative performances that I was really happy to see. Again, we're taking all of this in context with who the opponent is, but Gideon Davidson, and anybody that's watched the show knows I've screamed his name from the rooftops all season long, but the kid just has gotten more opportunities late in the season and just keeps getting better and better. And I think what you're seeing is he's beginning to earn the trust of the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, just honestly, just looking at like his snap count and how many carries he was getting, like I don't even care about the efficiency. It's Furman. Like, I mean, we know he's good, but he was getting significantly more carries than Adam Randall. I don't have it with me right now, but like he was the RB1, which is, I think he's the most talented running back on this team. And as long as he can do his job, which I think was a problem beginning of the season, he should be RB1. So it was great to see.
Right. Excuse me. And another player I was really happy to see have a great game, and he announced after the game that he is indeed entering the NFL draft, and that's redshirt junior wide receiver Antonio Williams. Had a great game in his final game at home in Death Valley, had a circus touchdown catch in the first quarter. Really, really happy for that guy. And when you think about players, particularly in this day and age of college football, that it's rare to see somebody stay for 3, 4, 5 years without going into the transfer portal. Antonio Williams, to me, is the true embodiment of what a Clemson player is that fits into the Clemson culture. And you know, all the accolades this young man gets are so richly deserved because Antonio Williams has been a great, great Clemson Tiger.
I'm going to miss him. I mean, I feel like we have these T. Higgins, Mike Williams, great elite type of receivers of the past, and we went through a pretty gross drought of like there was the Bo Collins era and stuff like that time with DJ and early on Cade where the receivers weren't great. I feel like Antonio Williams has been a part of a revised, like one of the few revised elements of Clemson football and stuff, a revised receiving core. And I think he's been the poster child for that. So I'm optimistic about our future at the receiver position, which is obviously really nice, but he's going to be hard to replace, and I think he's going to have a pretty good NFL career.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And he's such a dynamic player. And to me, what's really good is you've got these younger receivers like TJ Moore and Bryant Wesco, who, of course, is out for the rest of the season due to injury. But you've got these younger electric dynamic receivers who've really had this veteran presence to learn from. To me, that's been incredibly beneficial.
Yeah, and I mean, we got Tristan Smith too, who I know he's kind of a theoretical receiver right now, but Dabo said in a press conference, I talked about this, it pissed me off a little bit. Like, he said that Tristan Smith's going to have to wait a while until Tony Williams is gone because he's talking about Tony Williams, and I was like, you got to get these guys in. You got to get these transfers in or else transfers aren't going to come here and stuff. But, again, like, we're going to miss Antonio Williams. I'm sure Tristan Smith might have some concentration drops, some missed time routes that Antonio would have. We'd be thinking about Williams, be like, man, I wish that was him instead. But I think Tristan Smith is going to slot in. I think that there's something you can do with Williams that you can't do with Tristan Smith. It's just, and I mean, I think Tristan Smith's ceiling is just as high as Williams. So I'm excited to see that as well.
Right. Now, let's talk about the guy. And I know who you're alluding to, and you beat me to the punch. Everybody talks about who is going to replace Cade Klubnik, who's obviously in his last year as the starter for Clemson, moving on presumably to the NFL. Well, we talked about what the offense looked like when Christopher Vezina, who we've already seen in a prominent role this year, when he came in, he started the game against and played the entire game against SMU. And then we saw Trent Pierman. Well, who's the fourth quarterback on the roster? We finally got a look at him on Saturday. Chris Denson, the true freshman from Plant City, Florida. And my God, he did not disappoint. And I think Caden might be frozen up just a little bit. Looks like it.
Yep.
Hey, we've got Clifton Kennedy lurking in the background. Why don't you jump on, Cliff?
Yeah, I'll jump on right quick. I'll remove.
Yeah, we'll get Caden back up in a minute.
All right, I'm here. I can jump in.
Hey, look, this is the price you pay for live entertainment.
Exactly. And that's why you have a producer in the background. So there you go.
And look, he freezes up just as we were getting to the guy he wanted to talk about. What gives, man?
I know, right? So,
well, you know what? Let's get your opinion,
man. I'm gonna say this about Chris Denson, man. I'm excited to see him, but I don't want us to do like everybody else and get all excited about the second string quarterback, and then when he comes in next year and has a couple faults, get all upset. Like, he's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want us to overhype him. I know he's gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. And let's see. Hold on a second. I'm flipping him on here.
Oh, he's back.
There we go. He's back. But like I said, man, I he's gonna be good. Like, don't get me wrong, but let's pump the brakes a little bit and know that we're not going to see him until next year, like really big. So that's what I'm going to say about that.
All right, Caden. All right. Are you with Cliff? Are we pumping the brakes on Chris Denson, or are we just going? Are we laying all his poker chips on the table? Are we going all in on Chris Denson as the QB1 of the future?
I'm not pumping the brakes. I put my foot on the gas. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! Like I remember, like 10 years ago when we were up by 1 billion points and Kelly Bryant came in and like as a freshman, he was a backup. He had this big like 60-yard touchdown run or something to put us up like 56-3. And I was like, this guy, like I don't know about the arm talent, but oh my gosh, he can move. And Denson, like I need to see a couple throws. I need to see him roll out of the pocket and like hit someone, in order for me to really be like
exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like analytically, I need to see arm talent, obviously, but he's going to be a ton of fun. He's going to be a very fun person to cover and to just write about. Like I think that it's when you have 2 quarterbacks or 3 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. That's a problem. I don't love the idea of Vizina just being our like 12 to 13 game starter next season. I think we do need to hit the portal at every position, including at quarterback. I've been watching a lot of Mac Nation trying to figure out, hey, what quarterback do I like there and stuff. But if you tell me right now that Denson is a starter like week 4, I'm not like, oh no, something went wrong. I'm like, oh, he's just that good. Like I would be optimistic about it. So yeah, the athleticism is there, the runability is there. I mean, I don't know what kind of player he is. I don't know if he's got like a Haynes King all run that can throw it a little bit, or if he's I don't know what he is. But if he has C+ arm talent, he's going to be a very, very good quarterback. Like that's all we.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Like I think he will be. I think this offseason is going to give him massive, like he's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get all that stuff. And it would not surprise me if he's a week 1 starter next year. That would be that's the best case scenario with him. But again, like you said, Caden, I want to see some arm talent. I've heard a lot about it, but let's just see it in the game.
Well, I think it's going to be a very compelling story going into the 26th season because you're going to enter spring practice in April knowing it's essentially a 2-man battle based on what we saw on Saturday. It's Vizina and Denson, and it's somebody's going to step up and win that job. And look, for my money, Clemson has always thrived when they've got a quarterback who is a legitimate threat to run the ball. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you, Caden. If he's got C+, B- at minimum arm talent with his ability to run, it makes this Clemson offense, which predicates so much on the quarterback run, extremely dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, like I think that this coming year, what I see as the most likely scenario is we do hit the portal, we do bring in a quarterback. And then Dabo, he has such a priority of seniority and like who's there longer. And I think that we would see him practice Denson play better and all these beat writers and stuff saying that Denson should start. And then I could see Vizina starting week 1, playing poorly, and us getting frustrated with Dabo and that being a whole thing. That's what I would predict right now. I'm just going to kind of overanalyze it a little bit. Going into next year, I think that Dabo Denson's going to be the guy that we all love. He's, and I think he's going to start some games next year. Will be a redshirt freshman or a sophomore? How many games has he played?
He's a true freshman, and
they're going to redshirt him.
Yeah,
they're going to
be a redshirt because he's only played in 2 games. A bowl game does not count toward the redshirt qualification. So, he's going to have 4 years of eligibility remaining after this season.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yep. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to it. So now let's switch gears here a little bit. Let's kick it in high gear. We all know what's coming up on Saturday, the annual Palmetto Bowl with our, I'm not going to say friends, let's just say our acquaintances from just down the interstate in Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Again, interest of full disclosure, and Cliff already knows this. I admit it. I was a bad boy. I was a bad Clemson fan, and I was in Williams-Brice Stadium on last Saturday, to see South Carolina take on Coastal Carolina. So, if you want to tie me to the whipping post, have at it.
But you were kind of tied. You had your hands tied because you made the choice of marrying a Gamecock fan, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you had to go. Like, you had to go.
Yeah, so, one time a year. That's the deal. One time a year. But no, in all seriousness, look, if you know my wife, then you know what a wonderful person she is. I can't hold fandom for one team against her. She's an incredible person, and we had a great time spending time together. But little did those Carolina fans know, we were sitting 11 rows from the field. Little did they know that there was a double agent in their midst. There was a Clemson fan among them.
Oh, that's probably
I was just scouting. Okay, I was an unofficial scout. That's what we're going with.
There you go.
So let's talk about this matchup. Earlier in the season, we saw South Carolina early on, and with Clemson struggling as they were, we kind of figured looking ahead that this was going to be pretty tough mountain to climb for Clemson. Mm-hmm. Well, Clemson's kind of trending upward. Their stock has risen a little bit. And South Carolina is officially not bowl eligible. They are not going to a bowl, regardless of how Saturday plays out. So for me, how does this go for them? They're either going to come in and with nothing to play for, they're going to lay it all on the line. They're going to be like an animal backed into a corner, and they're going to come out with claws and teeth bared, or they're just going to say the hell with it, and they're going to pack it in, and Clemson comes out of Williams-Brice Stadium with a win. So what kind of mentality do you see the South Carolina team coming out with?
There's no way they just pack it in. They have nothing to lose. This is their Super Bowl. This is their last game of the season. They know that going in. And, they're also a lot more used to being losers than us. If someone phones it in, I could see it being – I'm scared of us. We've already clinched the bowl game. I don't think anyone's going to. Like this, everyone respects this rivalry. It's a big rivalry. But, like, Clemson, we've already clinched the bowl game. I think that they have – this – would mean more to Carolina than us marginally, even though it means so much to both teams. But I don't know if it's going to matter. I'll get to that in a second.
Man, listen to this. Like I put on the hero image of the video, this game is a coin flip. I'm just going to say it. Like this year, it's a coin flip. I'm still think Clemson's going to win, but it could go either way. Like, yes, our defense has gotten a lot better in the past 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong, but the back end's gotten a lot better. So it's still a coin flip, but I think if the offense keeps playing like it does and everything, I think that we'll come out on top, And, here's the thing about Sellers. Sellers loses more yard when he scrambles, at least this year. He loses more yards when he scrambles then he gains. He's had over 30 sacks this year. I don't know if y'all knew that, but I heard that on the radio. He's had over 30, been sacked like 30 times, and half those sacks, if I'm not mistaken, were for more than 9 yards, 9-yard losses. I heard that like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, look, I can tell you from being there on Saturday. Look, granted, they were always going to beat the snot out of Coastal Carolina, but even the Chanticleers were able to get some pressure on him. So take away any of if you completely remove from the equation Sellers' running ability, or as Cliff pointed out this season, the lack thereof. Outside of him, South Carolina really doesn't have a legitimate running threat. There's no running back on their roster that I look at and just say, oh hell, he scares me.
I saw that opening play of his brother getting a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know his brother was on. I didn't even know his brother was on the team.
Oh yeah.
But
number one receiver.
Yeah. But I mean that was a nice little pass. So we'll see.
Look, let's not get too deep into flattery. It was a screen pass and a missed tackle.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Sellers has talent and he flashes enough, but I fully agree with what y'all are saying. Like, there's no consistency there and stuff. But I would say last year how he played is a good example. Like, I think he had like 3 turnovers last year, but looked superhuman and beat us. Like, I think that he's the ugly players are so ugly, and the pretty plays are as good as anyone else in the country. It's just a matter of which Sellers shows up, and it feels like it's pretty random on a play-to-play basis.
You got to tackle his feet and not above his waist. You got to tackle him below the waist.
Right. If you try to go high, look, Lenore Sellers is what? 6'3", 6'4", 230 pounds. If you try to go high, it's just going to run through you. You've got to get down. You got to get low. You got to go for the knees. I agree with Cliff 100% on that. But when I look at this South Carolina team and I stack it up next to Clemson's roster, look, you take away Clemson's struggles. Let's just ignore for a minute that they happened. This Clemson team is more talented than South Carolina at virtually every position. And look, any Gamecock fans watching this, sorry, not sorry. That's the way it is. I watched the South Carolina team up close and personal on Saturday. There is not one area and one facet on that field on Saturday in which you can say South Carolina has a market advantage over Clemson.
I agree, but I mean, I would also say on paper, if you look at our roster, we were more talented than Duke, we were more talented than Syracuse, we were more talented than as talented as Georgia Tech, as talented or more talented than LSU, if you look at just the rosters and stack it up. But we haven't been performing at that level on a consistent basis. We're going to Columbia. It's a big game. And my biggest thing is I think that we might have, as much as we hate to say this, and you never want to accuse people of this because if you're wrong, it's a horrible thing to be wrong about. I don't think we have the chip on our shoulder, the energy that we usually have in other seasons. It means a little bit of giving up throughout this year. But I don't think that'll happen against South Carolina. So I think we might see a lot more of the talent on paper actually coming onto the field and coming into fruition.
And here's a stat: we are 2-0 in the last 2 games at Carolina. So because I've been to the last 2 games, we're 2-0 the last 2 games. I mean, we beat them 8 out. We beat them 8 out of the last 10. I mean,
Cliff, by God, we get enough batteries thrown at us while we're there that we stay charged.
Yeah.
That's corny.
Look, go talk to my coworkers and they'll tell you all about corny. I'm the king of dad jokes, and I don't even have a kid.
I picked up on that.
No, but I see Clemson as having the advantage in this game, particularly in the skill positions. Quarterback, I think you could probably say is at worst it's a wash. I do think Cade is a far more polished passer than Lenore Sellers is, and Clemson has a grand advantage at the wide receiver position
and running back.
Gideon's better. I'll give you that.
Well, here's the thing, and I don't understand this about our offense yet because I haven't seen it. Why, now that Gideon's like getting a lot of reps, Why aren't we seeing both of them on the field at the same time?
Right.
Little 20, 21 personnel and stuff.
Yeah, why not put one on each side and run that type of offense? You know, that, like you said, what do you call it? 21 personnel?
It's 21 or 22, depending on the tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, why aren't we running that? Because both those running backs are good. And so I really think that that's something we haven't run all year. And if we ran that against Carolina, who knows what happened, you know?
Right. And look, I've never met a split back set I didn't like. So
okay. Well, maybe I'm a little too young. I like receivers. I like them all spread out and stuff. You know, I think we have so many good receivers, and I'd rather work them in a little more of a committee than those split back formations. But
hey, look,
works. And I would love more creativity from Garrett Riley overall. So anytime we try something new, I welcome it. But once it fails, I'm like, what an idiot. You know, that's kind of where I'm at with him right now.
Look, I love a split back set with a running back on either side of a quarterback in the shotgun, twin receivers left and one to the right. To me, that is just it's a sexy formation.
It's not the pass pros shifty there. You know, I like the chip block and running the backfield from the running back's opportunity there and stuff. But
all right. Well, we're gonna wrap this thing up. We're gonna give some predictions for this game. First, before we do that, just shout out our sponsor, Arden's Burger Grill. Always appreciate them. Look, just because there are no more home games in Death Valley this year does not mean that you shouldn't go to Arden's Burger Grill. Get those great double dip wings, burgers, exemplary, hot dogs, amazing. Got to go see them. Tell them crew from around the Paul sent you. You will not be disappointed. Speaking of not being disappointed, I trust we're all on the same page that Clemson's going to win Saturday, but let's hear how they're going to do it. Let's throw some predictions out there. Since Cliff's on mute real quick, Caden, we'll start with you.
All right. So South Carolina is last in the state of South Carolina in win percentage of like 8 Division I teams. And stuff. They're dead last. The first ever 8th place team in South Carolina, because Presbyterian's newly a D1 football team. They are 15th in the SEC, which wasn't possible 2 years ago. And there's only 14 teams. So 15. I love that so much. Like 15th in the SEC still doesn't like make sense to me. It still makes me laugh. So I don't know what we give.
Keeping in mind, Kentucky's still in the SEC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's still bad teams and stuff. There's still teams that have had horrible seasons in the SEC. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what we'd be if we were in the SEC, but we're not going to talk about that because we're not. So I have the Tigers. I do think it's a coin flip, and I'm being really cocky, and I because it's a rivalry and stuff. But I do have Clemson winning. I think it's going to be an uglier game. I think it's going to be. I think in the trenches, it's going to be one. I think there's going to be a lot of blitz packages, a lot of pressure. I think special teams are going to come out firing. I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I have us winning. Let's go 27-24 on a Hauser last-second field goal.
All right.
All right. Well, so I was at the 16-7 game. I was at the 30-0 game, right? And
were you at the 56-7 game?
I was not at the 56-7 game.
Damn.
I wish I was. Oh, hold up. Yes, I was at the 56-7 game. That was in Clemson. Yeah, I was not at the 63-17 game. But you know, I'm not sure how much offense there's going to be. Like, I think there's a big possibility that there's going to be that, you know, depending on how our offense plays, I think there might be a little bit of offense, but I don't know how much South Carolina's going to score. Like, if our defense plays up to its potential, right? So, and the way it's been playing the past 3 weeks, like, so I think it's going to come down to the kicker, maybe. If the kicker makes kicks, you know, if the kicker makes kicks, it might be a 10-point game. I'm gonna go 24-14.
All right. It's a win. I'll take it. Now, look, Caden predicted a 3-point game. You mentioned coming down to the kicker. So the question is, if Clemson wins this game on a field goal late, does the headline on Sunday morning read, "Who's her daddy"?
Who's the daddy?
Oh, that's good.
Oh God!
You better tweet that fast, Garrett. I'll beat you to it.
Look, I'll sign over the license for you to do that.
Thank you. That's really good.
Oh, I digress. All right. Clemson's going to win this game. I'm pretty confident in that. Clemson's 24-14. You said 27-24. I'm kind of in line with Kate a little bit in terms of kind of the scoring range that I think this game could be. I don't think Clemson's just going to completely blow the bulbs off of the scoreboard, but I don't think Carolina is going to score all that much. I think this Clemson defense has gotten a lot better, and Clemson's going to score enough. They're going to hit some big plays. And I'm going to say this Clemson defense are going to give the Gamecocks help on Saturday.
Help. There you go. I love it.
So,
I thought you just said it wrong.
You're just not getting it.
help, man.
It took me a second.
Leads the team in sacks, by the way.
That's pretty funny. Oh,
all right, so Clemson's going to win. I don't think South Carolina scores all that many points. So I'm going to say Clemson 28, South Carolina 13.
Whew. We're right there. We're right there together, you know.
Yeah, look, I will throw them a token touchdown, and they're going to get 2 field goals. Yeah. And outside of that, they're going to be like Tiny Tim, and they're going wanting.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, y'all, check out this old school Clemson shirt.
Oh,
like
1980,
man, bro. 1980, bro. 1981.
And see, look, I thought my BYOG shirt that now has a few holes in it from 2015, I thought that counted as vintage. You've got
this is vintage. My dad, you know what's funny about this? So my dad went to the 81 championship, and I was there, and they were selling these T-shirts outside the stadium.
Well, look,
that's crazy.
The best I've got is my tiger paw in the background.
There you go.
That.
Hey, that's like the year my parents were born. That's ancient history to me, 1981. That's so old.
I'm telling my age, man.
Jesus Christ, Kane. I was born in 1985. Don't no.
Oh
I don't act my age. Okay, my wife tells me all the time, why do you act like such a kid? Because I'm 40, I'm getting old, I have a few more gray hairs than I'd like to have, and acting like a daggum kid makes me forget that I'm fast approaching middle age. It sucks. I don't like it at all.
Hey, we get along. Me, you, and Cole get along on the podcast well. You know, so you definitely do. I don't know what you're like in real life. I don't know if you like, you know, if you dress it up for this show, but
no.
What you see, him in real life.
What you see is what you get. I promise you, what you see is what you get.
Yeah. So,
but hey, look, it's always such a fun time. And this game, look, the law of averages has got to catch up. So Clemson's going to win on Saturday. We're all going to have a great time, and then we're all going to have a Merry Christmas waiting to see where Clemson's going to play in their bowl. But let's get it done on Saturday, and let's have fun with it. So
I'm going Saturday. It's me and Anthony, and we got a photographer going. So
nice.
So 3 years in a row, bro. 3 years in a row. So
well, look, if we don't win this year, it's all your fault.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm not shooting, so that's
you don't
a
have
good
to take
thing.
the blame. You don't have a choice.
I'm not the photographer, so that's a good thing.
Okay,
when I'm the
that's
photographer, we've lost.
That's a start.
So I'm not the photographer.
Well,
yeah. So
all right, hey, that's going to wrap it for us here on this episode of Around the Paul. Anybody watching live out there on YouTube, man, we appreciate it. You can always go back and catch the show again. It'll be on our YouTube channel, Clemson Sports Media. Make sure you check out our website, clemsonsportsmedia.com. We've got great stories coming in all the time, and I think you'll really enjoy the coverage. So check us out. We hope you like what you read. We hope you like what you see and hear. But until next time, I'm Garrett Mitchell. For Caden Hughes and Clifton Kennedy, we sign it off by saying, go Tigers. Let's enjoy a little chicken kicking. Coming up in a few days, finger licking good. Go Tigers, and so long.
Go Tigers. Happy Thanksgiving, y'all.
around the pole.